Hello, live. I'm coming to you guys today. Happy Sunday. I hope you're enjoying your fun-filled day. I had wanted to share with you guys this book that I'm reading called HR Interview Secrets. And I want to be able to give you some of these secrets that can help you land that job. And I know that a lot of people are on the search right now. This book is by Alan Collins. I also follow him on LinkedIn at Alan Collins. But yeah, he's really good. I actually purchased another book that I will go into another day. But this book is really good, HR Interview Secrets. And I'll be going over some of those with you tonight. Let me go ahead and share my broadcast. Please, as you come in the room, go ahead and put your city and state where you're from, and we can get started right away with a couple of interview secrets that you will want to utilize. Let's see, let me share this. I'm so happy that it is Sunday and I'm just kind of relaxing. I hope you guys are enjoying your time with family and friends, or just relaxing today. That's kind of what I'm doing. It's just relaxing. I did go grocery shopping earlier today, and I'm just super excited to start my work week this week. Because it's actually closing a chapter in my life, and then I'm going to be entering a new chapter in my life, and I'm super excited for a new opportunity that's coming my way. So please bear with me while I share this live. And if you have any questions in regards to interviewing, please let me know. That way I can answer any of your questions. I know a lot of people inbox me with different questions on how they should answer certain questions on the interview. But this is your time to go ahead and ask me any questions you may have in regards to interviewing topic. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into the topic tonight, which is always a hot topic, interviewing secrets, HR interview secrets. And so I'm going to talk about chapter 2 of the book, which is know what are employers looking for in top HR candidates. So first it talks about as part of your interview prep, it's important that you know what to seize every opportunity and showcase them in your interviews. So know what's important to that particular employer and be able to speak to your resume. So here are some top things that you want to focus on. So number one is HR functional knowledge. So knowing what you know in HR. So you want to, what it says is interviewers will first and foremost be looking for to see if you know your stuff in your HR area of expertise. So that's very true. For example, if you specialize in compensation, they'll be looking for you to demonstrate a strong command of hourly, salaried, and executive pay approaches, incentive and bonus best practices, as well as emerging trends in the field. So you need to be able to speak to that if you're coming in on specialty as compensation. So it also says, likewise, if you're interviewing for an HR generalist role, you will need to know how to wow them and with your ability to be a jack of all trades. being able to juggle a variety of talent, employee, and workplace issues and dilemmas within the organization with poise. However, once you reach an executive or VP level, functional knowledge in HR is assumed that you already have that knowledge. And emphasis then shifts to other areas such as your critical experiences or your leadership capability. Speaking of which, let's tackle number 2, is your leadership capability. So that's very strong if you're looking for like a director level, a HR manager role. If you're also looking for a VP role, leadership capability is important. So how you influence people. Obviously, leadership increases in importance as you interview for more senior HR roles. But frankly, no matter what level of organization your HR role lies, employers want to know that you bring with you the ability to lead, influence, sell your ideas effectively, resolve issues with your clients, colleagues, and also your employees. Whether they report directly to you or not, you need to be able to address prominent issues within the organization. And where that also leads us into is number 3, which is your business acumen. Interviewers will want to know that you not only understand the tackle needs of HR, but that you also understand the business as well. So not only understanding the HR functional role, but also understanding the business part of the organization. Like if you're in manufacturing, you need to understand the business day-to-day operations on the operational side of the business, maybe attending production meetings and things like that, so you can become well versed in the business and how well the business is doing, far as like maybe past dues, and just being able to speak to the business terminologies. The best companies expect HR people to be passionate about their products and services and not shy away from participating in business-related discussions. So if you're a leader in the organization, they would want you to have a seat at the table and be able to speak to what's going on in the organization and the business and bring your experience and your expertise to the plate, so you would be able to make executive decisions and things of that sort. In fact, the true superstars in HR are business people first and HR people second. They can hold their own talking about the business with just about any business leader on their team. In fact, and the general manager was out sick, many of them could step in and give a 15-minute monthly business update to the leadership team if needed. So those are your true HR business leaders that can actually step in and be able to speak the business lingo to other leaderships, management, supervisors, things like that. Doing your research on the company as described in chapter 3, which we haven't gotten to, but will be crucial to enabling you to demonstrate your knowledge of the organization and your business acumen. Okay, so in fact, my favorite piece of HR advice, this is from Alan Collins, is it's easy to impress your business leaders as an HR professional when you've impressed them with your knowledge of their business first. So that is a quote from Alan Collins. So now we're going to move on to number 4, your promotions and career moves. So interviewers assume that the strongest HR candidates get promoted more rapidly. They either get assigned to a bigger role or progress rapidly by heading up important projects or key initiatives. Because of this, they'll focus on the last 5 to 10 years of your career to see if the following have been trending upward. So this is important. So when they're looking at your resume, employers are looking to see, are you plateauing or are you growing within the organization, or what kind of power moves are you making within the industry? So for example, if you're started out as an HR coordinator and then you moved your way up to HR generalist, and now you're applying for HR manager role, they'll see that you are eventually climbing the HR corporate ladder, and they'll see that as a good thing. Okay, so they'll also look at, the titles that you've held. So I've already given you some examples. The number of employees you've supported, your dollar budget accountability for, and your number of direct reports, and the overall scope and impact of your assignments. So what exactly did you do? Maybe was it some strategic planning that you had to do or something like that? So they will look into the verse of your resume to find out exactly what positions you've held and what type of assignments or projects you were responsible for. They'll also be looking to see if there are any advancing pattern to your work history. So the hiring managers in particular will be probing deeply to determine what you've done that enabled you to move to these new assignments. He or she will be trying to figure out, was it because of luck, or was it seniority, or better yet, your strong HR functional skills or dynamic team and leadership capabilities. So now that we've gotten that, we're going to move on to number 5. So number 5 is your track record or results. Organizations prefer to hire HR pros with a proven track record of high achievement. These are folks who go beyond the call of duty to deliver better than expected results. Interviewers will be looking for cues that demonstrate this in your interview. So you got to be able to project that in the interview through your resume, and then just through the things that you've done and being able to speak to your resume. So that would be very helpful. So being able to quantify or dollarize your success and accomplishments is a winning formula as you pitch your qualifications, no matter how much or how little HR experience you've had. So it's key to be able to project what you've done in the organization and being able to flow. So you will have your resume there to support you or help you during the interview, but you need to be able to just being able to project that and being able to confidently express and explain the things that you've done at your former jobs. Because the employer doesn't know your skills and capabilities. And so what you're doing in the interview is being able to explain to them what you've done and being able to speak intelligently about the projects and assignments and things that you've done. So you definitely want to be able to explain your accomplishments and things like that. And also in your resume, you want to be able to just make it flow. So the thing is like not reading it, line by line, but just being able to explain it in about a 2-minute pitch to your future employer. Okay. So, I can give you an example of this is what is in the book. And again, if you're just now coming on, I'm reading from HR Interview Secrets by Alan Collins. And this is a really good book. And I'm just giving you guys some helpful tips from his secrets. So for example, if you've helped cut brand manager talent acquisition costs by $175,000 through improvements in using social media to attract candidates, or if you've improved the employee retention rate from 85% to 96% in the customer service group, expect these kinds of contributions, open eyes, and grab attention, especially if the employer is facing similar issues. So you definitely want to be able to highlight those things when speaking to the employer on things that you've done and some of your key accomplishments. All right, so I also want to move on to number 6. Number 6 is your critical or unique experiences. Not all HR assignments are created equal. The HR challenges can be dramatically different if you're working in a rapid growth environment such as Apple, versus a fix-it business turnaround situation like General Motors or Ford, versus a mature non-for-profit organization like United Way. However, all of these challenges provide unique HR experiences that can be extremely high demand by a specific employer. So it's crucial that you define the types of experiences you've had so you can position yourself to take a further advantage in the discussions in the interview process. All right, so also as more organizations globalize, an HR-related experience outside of the U.S. can be a differentiator for you as well. So if you work globally, that also can help you in the interview process, because you can also say that I've worked internationally as well as domestic. Number 7, your cultural fit. Now, I really want you to focus on your cultural fit. That's something that you can't really project onto somebody. It's either you fit or you don't. So your cultural fit. So I always say it's about 30% of what you know, and the rest, 70%, is about if you fit in with the culture. So let me give you some examples about the cultural fit. Many outstanding HR candidates get dropped from the interview process because they don't fit the culture. So what does that mean? Cultural fit relates to your personal ability to mesh with the company's environment, pace, intensity, personality, and its values and mission. So sometimes you just don't fit in within an organization. I can give you an example. So if I'm interviewing for a manufacturing engineer and I know our environment, our work environment is very fast paced, that means let's get it going fast. Everything's moving fast. And this person comes in and they're interviewing and they have their resume looks good, their skill set looks good. I know they can do the job, but guess what? They will not fit in with our culture because we're a fast working, fast upbeat environment. And this person comes in and they're like, yeah, so I know I can do the job. And yeah, and they're just talking really slow. And for our organization, that would frustrate our management and our supervisors because they want it done now, fast, let's upbeat, go. And this person's moving like a snail. I know that they wouldn't fit into our cultural environment because it's just not a match. So what I'm trying to express to you guys is in the interview, sometimes that's out of your control. You want to just be the best you can be. You want to be upbeat and you want to be expressing yourself as much as possible and being able to be believable in the interview on what you can bring with your skill set. But I think cultural fit is something that's out of your control because it's based on the pace, the intensity, the personality, and the values and missions of the company. So it's basically, do you fit within our company culture, and would they fit in with the existing team that we have already? So that's very important to know, that 30% of it is what you know and can you execute what you know. And the other 70% is probably about cultural fit and if you fit within the organization. And thank you for the hearts and thank you for the likes. I really appreciate that. Okay, so the next one is number 8, is your energy and enthusiasm. So nobody wants to hire a whiner. So if you're whining and you're negative and you're talking bad about the old company, you're going to do yourself a disservice and it's not going to be good. So you definitely want to be enthusiastic and energetic in the interview process. So negative energy is a turnoff, and despite your efforts to conceal it, it can creep into your interview, especially if you're stepping into your meetings angry, at having been looking for a job for so long that you've become frustrated with the whole job search process. So don't bring that negative energy vibe into the interview. You definitely want to be upbeat and very open and willing to hear what the company has to say. Sure, if you were fired, laid off, or forced out of your last organization unjustifiably, you have every right to be bitter. However, bringing this with you in the interview sessions and dropping little subtle digs at your former boss or company will cost you. Even if it feels good to verbally vent to someone, the interview isn't that time or place to do that. I'm sure this is obvious and you know all of this already, but it's important to check yourself at the door. Make sure that you leave all that negative energy and vibes in the car before you step into the interview. You want to make sure that, and what I always do when before I'm going to interview, I'll listen to like gospel music, Joel Osteen, something to get my mood in the right place. I never listen to rap because it starts to bebop in your head. And you want to listen to something that's going to be tranquil and keep your thoughts in order. So I'll listen to something like Joel Osteen, and he always gets me in the right mindset so I'm able to focus when it's time for interviewing. Surveys of hiring managers and HR leaders show that one of top qualities they seek are non-jaded HR folks who are positive and inspiring. So you definitely want to be upbeat, positive, inspiring, because you are an influencer. You are somebody that people look up to in the organization, and they want somebody that's positive and not a negative Nancy, as I call them. You definitely want to be somebody that they can come to and confide in and look to get the right answers that they're having or some problems or concerns. So you definitely want to be that person. So being positive, upbeat, having an energy and enthusiasm in the interview is what people are looking for, what employers are looking for, and because they want you to bring that positive energy to their organization. All right, so number 9 is your communication skills. So how well do you communicate? Effective communication is very, very important. So the worst HR director candidate I have ever interviewed, now Alan Collins is just telling his story, I ever interviewed was boring as HELL. The way he communicated nearly put me to sleep during our session. He spoke in a robotic, monotone voice with no enthusiasm whatsoever. I sat there trying hard to stay awake and listen as he talked me step by step through every single freaking job and work assignment he had ever did in the past 10 years. Literally, it put him to sleep. So you don't want to be that person. Like I said, in your resume, you should be able to speak 2 to 3 minutes about your entire resume. From the end, you start always at the oldest job to your present current position, and you want to be able to weed through that. Okay, give you an example. Actually, I was just doing a resume, so I should be able to explain this to you. So back at a position I had as a customer service rep, I spent 2 years there, and what I did is I provided excellent customer service in a timely fashion, was able to meet with my client group, and these customers consisted of Lockheed, Boeing, Gulfstream, all of these high-end contractors that I had, and I was responsible for giving them exceptional customer service. And then next I moved, and then from there, the reason I left is because I was laid off. You definitely want to tell them the reason that you left that position so they don't have to ask you further down why you left that job. You just basically put it into your summary. And the next position I was at, I was a residential advisor. And at that time, I was there for about 2 years. And I worked there only part-time. And what I did is I screened and transferred inbound phone calls, dealt with conflicts among residents, using my problem-solving skills. I promptly process requests and maintenance repairs for the students that had different maintenance requests if they had something wrong in their rooms. Actively encourage and promoted involvement in hall council and residents hall association programs and activities. And the reason I left there is because I ended school, so I'm no longer there, and I'm now interning for I'll just use, for example, my company. I'm interning now for the #1 HR expert, and there I currently answer customer service calls. I do HR coordinating things. I help with the benefits, enrolling people in their benefits. When employees have disputes, I take the intake and I do the intake form, and just help with any resolutions that need to be done. So, and I'm still currently there. I'm only part-time, but I'm looking for a full-time opportunity. So that's why I'm out in the job market now, looking for a full-time employment opportunity. So you see how I tailored that into a 2 or 3 minute speech. You don't have to go on and babble on and babble on and babble on, because guess what? The employer lose interest. So you want to keep it to about 2 to 3 minutes when you're going over your resume, because that's going to be beneficial for you and the employer, and you're not going to put them to sleep. So you definitely want to be able to just have it flowing, and being able to highlight exactly what you did in a couple of bullets, and then also why you left the organization. So those are your key communication skills. And then also, being able to communicate effectively with the leaders at the table that are interviewing you, being able to have that flowing dialogue, as I call it, in the interview process. Flowing, not, I answer a question, then I answer a question, but just having communicative, direct communication, and being able for it to flow. So that's very important. Okay. And then number 10 is your ability to meet jobs' immediate demands and needs. So that means they're looking at you as, can this person come in on the job and hit the ground running? I want somebody to be able to come in and fill this position, and I know confidently that they know what they're doing, and I can believe in what they're going to bring to the table. So when you're talking to these employers in the interview process, you have to be believable, you have to be trustworthy, and you have to be confident in what you're saying, so they can feel confident when they're hiring you. So those are pretty much it. Those are the top 10 things that you should be knowing what employers looking for in the candidates that they're looking for. So number 1, I'll just review them really quick. Number 1 is your HR functional knowledge, knowing what you know. Number 2, your leadership capabilities. Number 3, your business acumen. Number 4, your promotions and career moves. What are you doing? Number 5, your track record of results. Number 6, your critical or unique experiences. Number 7, cultural fit. Number 8, your energy and enthusiasm. Number 9, your communication skills. And number 10, your ability to meet the job's immediate demands and needs of the role. So those are some things that Alan Collins, HR Interview Secrets, he wrote this book, and it's very, very enlightening, especially for anyone that's about to go out and land a job pretty soon. You definitely want to be able to take those tips and run with it. Please share this video with people that may be interested in getting into HR, people that need some guidance in interviews. You can also leave any questions you may have or any interview tips you may need, and I can answer those after the video is completed. I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you tuning in another week. I am on YouTube, I'm on Facebook Live, and other social medias like LinkedIn as well. So please give me a thumbs up. Please drop your city and state of where you're from, and I will be gladly to get back to you guys. And if you're watching the replay, just type in replay and I will know if you guys are watching the replay. So thank you guys. Have a safe, fun-filled rest of your day. Enjoy your start of the week. And again, I'm Angela Anderson, the #1 HR expert, and I hope that I've helped someone today. Have a great evening. Goodbye.